This is the 21st consecutive negative number. Now, the record for consecutive monthly negative numbers is 22. So we're 1 week away from tying it and 2 weeks away from breaking it. That record was set in the financial crisis time period, the Great Recession, 2007, 2008, the Lehman Brothers collapse, all that stuff, right? That's the last time we had a string of leading economic indicators on a monthly basis that was about as bad as the one we've got right now.
In a recent analysis, renowned economist Peter Schiff delves into crucial economic indicators, painting a grim picture of the current financial landscape. Schiff points out that despite some optimistic reports, the underlying data reveals a different story. Leading economic indicators, a key metric, have just recorded their 21st consecutive negative month, a trend eerily reminiscent of the 2008 financial crisis. Schiff emphasizes the gravity of the situation, highlighting that we are only 1 week away from tying the record and 2 weeks away from surpassing it. Drawing parallels to the challenging times of the Great Recession, Schiff hints at a looming financial crisis that could potentially surpass the severity of 2008. Let's dive into the rest of the video.
You know, we got a lot of this economic data that came out that made people think that the economy was good. Most of the data was bad, even the data that they think was good. So I just put all of it up on my computer. So let me go into some of these data points. First one was leading economic indicators, which came out earlier in the week. Now, the only thing good about this number was that it wasn't as bad as it was supposed to be. The estimate was for a minus 0.3, and we got a minus 0.1, which is, I guess, the lowest you could be and still have a negative sign, right? Because it's just below zero. But what's significant about this is it's the 19th consecutive month where the leading economic indicators, oh no, not 19, 21, excuse me. This is the 21st consecutive negative number. Now, the record for consecutive monthly negative numbers is 22. So we're 1 week away from tying it and 2 weeks away from breaking it. That record was set in the financial crisis time period, the Great Recession, 2007, 2008, the Lehman Brothers collapse, all that stuff, right? That's the last time we had a string of leading economic indicators on a monthly basis that was about as bad as the one we've got right now.
In this next discussion, Peter Schiff exposes what he sees as a fundamental flaw in the field of economics. According to Schiff, many economists lack a true understanding of economic principles, asserting that being a professional economist doesn't necessarily require knowledge of economics. In fact, he humorously likens economists to weathermen, claiming that the only reason economists exist is to make weather forecasters look good. Furthermore, Schiff takes aim at government economists, asserting that their primary role is propaganda rather than providing accurate economic analysis. As Schiff delves into the impact of the Biden administration on the economy, he contends that any positive developments are in spite of, not because of, government interventions. Drawing an analogy to carrying a weighty knapsack while running a race, he argues that the government's role should be to remove obstacles rather than claim credit for any improvement.
And I think one of the reasons that these economists think the economy is good is because they don't know anything about economics. I mean, economist is one of the few professions that you could be a professional economist, you can make your living as an economist, and know absolutely nothing about economics. As an economist, it doesn't matter. You can get everything wrong. You can get every forecast wrong. It doesn't matter. I mean, in fact, there's an old joke. The reason that God invented economists is to make the weathermen look good. Right? You don't really have to understand economics to be an economist. You don't have to understand economics to teach economics in college, because the professors don't understand it either. In fact, if you know economics, you probably won't get hired as a professor of economics. I mean, part of the requirement for the job is not to understand economics. I mean, you got to know all this nonsense that masquerades as economics. You've got all these economists that really don't understand anything about how an economy works, right? And so that's why they're claiming everything is great. And of course, then you got the worst economists, which are the ones that work for government, right? Which is generally the case with pretty much anybody who ends up working for government. But these government economists, their job is propaganda, right? It doesn't matter what the data is. Their job is to put a spin on it and to tell the voters how great things are and then claim credit for the administration. It's not just that the economy is good, but we did it, right? You hear these people on, these surrogates for the Biden administration, they keep coming on and not only telling us that the economy is good, but crediting Biden, like Biden's proposals, right? His whatever bills he passed, the infrastructure or act or the CHIPS Act or whatever Biden has done, that's supposedly the reason that the economy is doing so well. I mean, even if the economy was doing well, which it is not, but let's just say, in some bizarro world, the economy is doing well, it's not because of what Biden has done. It's in spite of what Biden has done. Any gains that the economy manages are in spite of what the government has done. Because everything the government does is making it harder for the economy to do well. The government is putting obstacles in the path. The only way the government can help the economy is by getting out of the way. So, is government smaller today than it was when Biden took office? Absolutely not. The government is bigger, it spends more, it regulates more. So how can it be helping the economy? It's like, you got a knapsack on your back, and you're going to run a race, and there's already maybe 20 or 30 pounds, in your knapsack that you're lugging around. And so you're not running quite as fast as you could. And the Biden administration loads in some more weight onto your backpack. Are you going to run faster now that you're weighed down with even more government? Of course not. Now, if somehow you manage to run faster anyway, despite the extra weight, maybe you just worked out extra hard or whatever you did, you were able to overcome that government obstacle. So the government couldn't take credit for the fact that you ran, a certain speed, because you would have run even faster had the government not burdened you with the extra weight. So that's what Biden has done. The only way government can help an economy is by getting out of the way of the economy, which means removing the impediments that have already been placed. So if the government puts weights in your knapsack, and then they take some of those weights out, and now you can run faster, it's not really government's fault. I mean, it's not, the government isn't the reason, right? The government say, hey, look, we did a great job. We removed those weights, and now look how much faster the guy is running. Yeah, but you put the weights there in the first place. So how are you going to take credit for taking out the weights that you put in and the fact you left a bunch of them there? You should have taken out more. So the only thing the government can do to help the economy is to stop harming the economy, right? If I keep punching you in the arm, I can make you feel better if I stop punching you, but I'm not doing anything good. I'm just not doing something bad. So that's what we need. We need deregulation. We need the government to repeal regulations that are already in place. We need the government to cut spending that already exists and lower taxes that have already been laid. And if they undo the damage that they've done, yes, then they can say they've helped the economy because they're no longer hurting it as much as they were. What grows the economy are the collective and not coordinated, but independent, though collective efforts of all of the men and women who are independently pursuing their own self-interest within the economy and then working together in society to solve each other's problems and get rich in the process. That is what is growing the economy. And that is not what's going on under Biden. So they have to lie twice. First, they have to tell us that the economy is great when it's lousy, and then they got to pretend that it's great because of something that the president has done. When even if it was great, it would be in despite all the things that the president did to undermine the economy. And the economy would have been even better had all these things that the Biden administration is bragging about and taking credit for, had none of that stuff been done, right? The economy would be in better shape. than it is, yet Biden still wants to take credit for it.
Today, we've delved into an eye-opening analysis by Peter Schiff, shedding light on the intricacies of economic indicators and the questionable state of our economy. Schiff challenges the prevailing narrative, pointing out the disconnect between optimistic reports and the underlying data. He emphasizes the role of government and economists in either hindering or fostering economic growth. As we wrap up, it's clear that Schiff advocates for a hands-off approach from the government, calling for deregulation and a reduction in spending. The key takeaway is that true economic growth stems from the collective efforts of individuals pursuing their self-interest within the economy. We hope you found today's discussion thought-provoking and insightful. If you enjoyed the content, don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and share your opinions in the comments below.